Hello, good morning all. Today we will be discussing the building bylaws. So what are bylaws? These are certain guidelines that are made by the authorities for making buildings in residential areas or any other buildings you want to make that must follow certain bylaws. Okay. So these are the guidelines for making any building. You can say that. And the building bylaws is a local law framed by the competent authorities. Okay, so these are the local authorities which make these law because they see the conditions around that place only. Okay, so some other place must be having some other conditions, so they are having certain other authority. You can say there are other authorities who govern that area, but in your area there are some other authorities that govern, yeah, that area only. Okay, so bylaws, you can say that every locality has its own peculiarities with respect to the climatic conditions. Okay, because the Dehradun area must be having certain other climatic conditions. Other area you can, if you are making building in Himachal Pradesh or any other, you can say. So there must be some other climatic conditions. So the local governing authorities here in Dehradun must be different, in Himachal Pradesh must be different. So that is to be considered here. Geological conditions also, availability of material for construction, labor, etc. So these all things you must consider. So these are governed by the local authorities. Okay. So the building regulations are generally uniform in character, governing the entire town or city. The regulations are drawn by a panel of experts. So these members who are in the authorities, or you can say competent authorities, they are made by the panel of certain experts which are from different fields as engineering field, public health law, general administration, and town planning. So these are the panel experts. Okay, which are involved in making these guidelines. So it is the municipality or the corporation which forms the building bylaws as per the Municipal Act or Corporation Act. Okay. So it is therefore necessary that the planning person must be having knowledge of building bylaws. So if you are planning any building uh, or any other structure, so you must be following certain bylaws for that. Okay. So these only those plans are approved which comply with the requirements of the building bylaws, and license for the construction is issued. So if you are planning for making any building or your house you are making, so it must follow these guidelines. Okay, otherwise your plan may not pass by the authorities. Okay, so the objects of bylaws are to give guidelines to the designer, architect, or engineer. So you are an engineer, so these are the guidelines for you to be followed for making any building. To prevent haphazard development, to control land development, and to check unauthorized construction. So if you want to check the if this is not an authorized or it is unauthorized construction, if you want to check for that, so you can check through these guidelines also. Okay, to limit or define the way the new structures are to be built. Okay, this is already been discussed. To specify the type of material to be used in locality, different materials must be available. So which material you have applied and what must be there, according to the guideline, that must also be need to be taken care of. To provide open spaces, air, breezes, etc., to afford safety against fire, noise, and smoke. So these all things must be considered, as these are all that has to be in the guidelines of the bylaws. So what are the important bylaws? Building and control lines, open space requirements, build up area, floor space index or floor area ratio, height of the building. So these all things you must remember while designing or planning any building. Important rules and bylaws of sanctioning the authorities for construction in the rural areas are. So what are the important rules? So the proposed building must be in the residential zone. If you are making any building, that must be in residential zone. The minimum front margin should be 3 meters. The minimum side and rear margin should be 1.50 meters. Maximum number of stories should be G plus 1. The rural areas we are talking about, the maximum allowable built up area should be 60% of the total plot area. Okay, the minimum height of plinth should be 450 mm. Maximum height of slab should be 2.75 meters. So the FSI in rural area is 1. What is FSI? Floor space index. So that will be discussed later. So what is floor area? This is the or you can say usable covered area of the, not it is usable covered area of the building. It is the usable covered area of the building at any floor level which is usable. Floor area is calculated by deducting the area of the walls from the plinth area. So you have to neglect the area of the walls from the plinth area. What is the carpet area now? Carpet area, it is the floor area of the usable rooms at any floor. It is the floor area, only the floor area of the usable room at any floor. Carpet area can be calculated from the floor area deducting the sanitary accommodations. What are the sanitary accommodations? Like kitchens, pantries, veranda, corridors, passages, stores, etc. So these should be neglected from them. Carpet area only be that can be usable in rooms at any floor. Okay. So built up area. It is the area covered by all floors of the building. Area covered by all floors of the building. It covers everything under roof. Okay, so everything must be covered under roof. That comes under built up area, but excludes balconies, staircase, etc. So you have to neglect the staircase and balconies. It includes floor area of all rooms plus wall thickness. So it should be included all rooms plus wall thickness. Okay, when open space area is restricted, then the built-up area of any building is automatically restricted. According to the use, there are restrictions on built-up area as given below. So what are the restrictions? In a bazaar or market area, the built-up area shall not exceed 75%. 75% of the site area, provided ample space for parking is available on the same side. So built up area shall not exceed 75% because at the market side you need to provide a space for parking also. In the industrial area, the built up areas are started below. So as per the requirements, area of the plot, permissible built up area must be with 2-story structures we are talking about. Less than 200 square meters, 60% is permissible. 200 square meter to 500 square meter, 50%. 500 square meter to 1000 square meters is 40%. More than 1000 square meters, 33% is permissible for built up area. So these are the guidelines that are made. Floor space index or floor area ratio. So what is floor space index or floor area ratio? The floor space index is defined as the ratio of the total built up area upon the plot area. So it is the ratio of the total built up area of the floor and area of the floor. What is plinth area now? If you want to talk, you are saying that what is plinth area? Plinth area basically the carpet area plus wall thickness of all the units plus area which is excluded in calculation of the carpet area. So the things that you are neglecting in the carpet area, that should be included in plinth areas. Plinth area basically comprises of the carpet area plus wall thickness of all the units and area that you have excluded earlier. So the ratio of the total built up area of all the floors to the plot area of the building is called floor space index, abbreviated as FSI. It is a pure number. The FSI is fixed by the local authorities and it is different from different areas and different buildings in the city. So FSI changes. Okay. As such, the build up area are governed by FSI and you can say FSI or FAR. The FSI therefore checks the height of the building and consequently it controls the density of population. How? For example, if the plot area consists of 36 squares with FSI as 1, then maximum built up area will be, you can simply multiply 36 into 1, that will give you 36. Now if the area is to be utilized for multi-story building, then 2 floors are necessary to utilize area of 18 squares, 3 floors to utilize 12 squares, 4 floors to utilize 9 squares, 9 floors to utilize 4 squares. So that's how you calculate the FSI, and these are the guidelines for that. Okay, now there are certain other guidelines that you must remember, that the FSI is therefore the total area of all the floors, including floors. It does not include the basement area. The following is also excluded from the total area: the staircase, hall, balconies, chhajjas, parking on stilt, water tanks on the roofs or terraces, garages. These all need to be, these are excluded earlier, but you the for seeing the FSI you have to just simply put the total areas of the floors, all the floors. Okay, so provided it covers not more than 40% of the area of the room and height not more than 2.6 meter. So these are the things that you need to remember. Planning of staircase, rise and thread for residential and public building. Rise for residential building must be 170 to 190 mm. Thread for residential building is, these are for staircases that you must know. Thread for residential building is 250 mm. Rise for public building is 150 mm to 170 mm. Thread for public building is 300 mm to 325 mm. So these are the certain guidelines for the floors, built up area, carpet area, floor area, and what are these, and what are the building bylaws, and who make these building laws. So these are the things that you must remember. Thank you very much.